The situation in Palestine remains at the center of global attention, as tensions continue to escalate day by day and the humanitarian crisis reaches ever more heartbreaking limits. In today's video, we'll take a closer look at the current situation in Palestine, the ongoing losses, Indonesia's steadfast support for Palestinian freedom, Israel's actions, and the international community's diverse responses. The situation in Palestine remains at the center of global attention, as tensions continue to escalate day by day and the humanitarian crisis reaches ever more heartbreaking limits. According to data from UNICEF, the International Red Cross, and several humanitarian organizations, more than 1 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip are currently facing severe hunger. The strict blockade imposed by Israel has severely restricted the delivery of food and medical aid shipments. In the rubble-strewn neighborhoods of Gaza, many families are forced to share meager meals. The number of malnourished children continues to rise, and hospitals are running out of medicine to treat injuries caused by the conflict. In the West Bank, the situation is relatively better, but hospitals still face shortages in funding, staffing, and essential medical equipment. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians still rely on international aid for access to food, clean water, and basic healthcare services. The main cause of this dire situation stems from the strict blockade imposed by Israel over the past several years. According to experts, the blockade directly affects the transportation of food, medicine, and other essential supplies. Meanwhile, sporadic clashes between Palestinian armed groups and the Israeli military continue to erupt, further deepening the deadlock. Numerous resolutions calling for the lifting or easing of the blockade to protect civilians have been proposed, but Israel remains firm in its security stance, viewing the blockade as a necessary measure to prevent extremist groups. In this context, Indonesia has emerged as a strong voice among developing nations in advocating for the rights of the Palestinian people. For decades, Indonesia has maintained a firm stance in support of Palestine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Indonesia has consistently raised its voice at international forums, such as the United Nations, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and various regional summits, calling for an end to violence and the pursuit of a lasting peaceful solution. Beyond diplomatic statements, Indonesia has undertaken large-scale humanitarian efforts, including medical and food aid, and most recently, the deployment of 1,090 peacekeeping troops as part of international missions in conflict zones. This is a concrete step that reaffirms Indonesia's strong commitment to protecting the Palestinian people. The Indonesian peacekeeping forces have been deployed with key responsibilities, providing security support, establishing safe corridors for aid deliveries, and coordinating with international organizations to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches civilians as quickly as possible. The Indonesian government has emphasized that the deployment of peacekeeping forces is not intended as a military intervention, but rather as a humanitarian duty and a commitment to maintaining peace. However, Israel promptly expressed its opposition to the decision. It views the presence of the Indonesian peacekeeping troops as an external intervention, a violation of national sovereignty, and a move that could set a precedent for other countries to deploy forces into disputed regions. Israel has alleged that this move carries the risk of further complicating the situation and could be exploited by various factions to escalate the conflict. Many pro-Palestinian countries have expressed their support for Indonesia's responsible and proactive move, They believe that in the context of a prolonged crisis, the involvement of neutral peacekeeping forces is essential to protect civilians and prevent further escalation of violence. Several Western powers, while maintaining close ties with Israel, have nevertheless called on all parties to exercise restraint, prioritize dialogue, and approach the issue from a humanitarian perspective first. For Indonesia, the diplomatic equation is becoming increasingly complex. While remaining steadfast in its support for Palestine, Indonesia must also maintain a balanced relationship with major partners who back Israel, in order to avoid diplomatic and economic isolation. The Palestine-Israel conflict has lasted for over 70 years, becoming one of the most intractable issues in modern global politics. Palestine continues to fight for self-determination and an internationally recognized sovereign state, while Israel continues to strengthen its settlements in disputed territories, making the prospect of peace more distant than ever. Nevertheless, the steadfastness and concrete humanitarian efforts of countries like Indonesia continue to offer a glimmer of hope. It is hoped that the international community will remain united, strengthen dialogue, and prioritize the well-being of the people rather than allowing political calculations to overshadow human values. Amid prolonged instability, every diplomatic and humanitarian step is invaluable. The support, solidarity, and compassion of the international community will be key to building a better future for the Palestinian people. Innocent lives yearning for peace, free from hunger and suffering. We will continue to provide updates on the latest developments regarding the situation in Palestine and the role of the international community. Thank you sincerely for watching today's video. See you in the next one.